Welcome to News in Brief from Marjaya Global Network. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi welcomes masses of people at his central office. The Grand Islamic jurist Ayatollah Shirazi welcomes big numbers of Islamic scholars, religious, cultural, and social activists, the university figures, and the masses of people from around the world at his central office in the holy city of Commemorated. During these meetings, the guest offer reports of their activities to the Grand jurist and listen to the guidelines of His Eminence. SRW at high level firm at combating anti-Muslim discriminations and hatred. On January 17, the permanent missions of the United States and Canada to the United Nations, the permanent observer mission of the Organization of Islamic Corporations to the United Nations, and the European Union delegation to the United Nations jointly hosted the high-level forum on combating anti-Muslim discrimination and hatred. The day-long event at the United Nations examines the rise of anti-Muslim discrimination and hatred globally from the perspective of governmental, non-governmental, and private sector representatives. It will also focus on best practices to combat anti-Muslim discrimination and highlight strategies that promote positive narratives of pluralism. SOW Executive Director Mr. Rahwan was also attending this forum. Bahraini Martyrs commemorated in London, UK. The Islamic Center of Al-Abrar in London commemorated the memory of 3 Bahraini youngsters who faced unfair execution by the Bahraini government. Sayyid Majid, representing the Husseiniya of Rasul Azam, peace be upon him, affiliated to the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in London, made a speech at this ceremony and condemned the inhuman and anti-human rights measures by the Bahraini government. Following the unrest in Bahrain, the government forces carried out the death sentence of these Shia political activists in this country. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi's Public Relations Office welcomes religious figures. The Public Relations Office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Holy Kabbalah, Iraq, welcomes several religious figures, seminary teachers, and Islamic students. Nasser Arif Nasrallah, the director of this office, held meetings with these religious figures and addressed different political, economic, and social issues of Iraq. In the end, Mr. Nasrallah emphasized on more consultation and joint programs to introduce the culture of Shia Islam worldwide. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi marks 40th of late Ayatollah Bamyani in Damascus. 40 days after the passing of the late Ayatollah Muhammadi Bamyani, the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Damascus held a ceremony to honor the memory of this great Shia scholar. This memorial ceremony was attended by a large number of Islamic scholars, teachers of Zainabiya Islamic Seminary, and Islamic students. This ceremony began with famous Quran reciter Sayyid Mehdi al-Musawi, and then Sheikh Mustafa Nasrawi made a speech to the audience. Annaba Cultural and Media Institution studies youth problems. Annaba Cultural and Media Institution, in its latest weekly discussion session, hosted Dr. Mustafa Fuad, a human rights activist from the U.S., and a number of youth. This discussion session was specified to the youth and their problems and the reasons of the youth immigration to the Western countries. After highlighting the political, social, and economic instabilities in Iraq, Sheikh Murtada Maash, the cultural director of Annaba Institution, emphasized on helping the youth to overcome their problems and promote their identity.